Our rotational idea to start with, Mike, and I know you've been on this for a while, involves Luka.
Yeah, I do not like that he plays the first 12 minutes of the game and the all 12 minutes of the third quarter. It doesn't make any sense to me. And here's where I'm going to go with this. LeBron James with the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Miami Heat did not play in the regular season the first 12 minutes of the game and the first 12 minutes of the third quarter.
Yeah.
It is very tough to play all 12 minutes of a quarter with another quarter to go in that half and to have the energy you need. And this is the other thing, too, because I do think Jason Kidd is a genius basketball player, and I do think he knows a whole bunch about basketball coaching and getting the most out of his players. At times, yes, he can be questioned just like every coach. But have you ever noticed, and Derek, you get to go to these games, have you ever noticed when Luka isn't on fire in a quarter, the first or third quarter, because he plays all 12 minutes, have you noticed how tired he gets and the tired shots he takes late in a quarter because he's dead-ass tired? And you're just like, dude, that's not a good shot. And you're tired. We get you're tired and you don't want to go to the basket right now because you're tired. But I'm thinking there's an easy way to solve this. Stop playing him all 12 minutes of the first quarter and third quarter.
Do you think that's him, though? Do you think that's Luka saying, like, I got to be out there with my guys so I can show them I'm good? Or is that just, the decision from Kidd? Sorry.
It might. No. Great question. Because it might be. Here's the deal. If everybody remembers, Porzingis got really upset with Rick Carlisle and said, stop taking me out after 5 minutes of the game. I'm a rhythm player and I need to get into a rhythm. So Rick totally changed the rotation at that point, and he said, Luka, after 5 or 6 minutes of the first quarter, I'm going to take you out for 3 minutes. I'm going to bring you back in with 3 minutes left in the quarter because Porzingis wants to play the first 9 minutes of the game. Not 12, but the first 9.
Yeah.
And so Rick Carlisle did it. It might have ticked off. And in fact, I do think it ticked off Luka a little bit that Porzingis won a little bit of a battle, right? They're both very young guys. Porzingis is saying, I need mine. And then Luka's like, I need mine. And Porzingis said, I don't like this rotation. And Carlisle said, I'll change the rotation for you. If you feel like it's going to make you a better player, I need you to be a better player. I'm going to change this for you. But the thing that we talk about, and I know we go back to baseball, but you do have two guys here.
Your analogy about baseball actually kind of blew my mind this morning because I had never thought about it from this perspective.
And most parents and coaches don't think about this that are little league or high school coaches and parents. If I throw 3 innings on Saturday and 3 innings on Sunday, they're like, well, that's 6 innings. You're fine. You can throw 6 innings on Sunday. Big deal. And like, no. 3 plus 3 does not equal 6.
Yeah.
That is very different when it comes to pitching because, right, Derek, if I throw 3 innings today, I can't throw tomorrow for the most part. Maybe in a do or die situation or a big time situation, maybe I can give you an inning, but I need rest after throwing 3 innings where I just need to play catch and make sure that I recover so I can give you a day off and then I can give you an inning or 2 the next day. But a lot of people think, no, I mean, you got 6 innings this weekend, so we're going to split them up evenly rather than really 3 plus 3 in that situation equals 9 or 10. And when you're looking
Never would have thought that.
When you're looking at 6 innings in one day, it's just 6 innings. But this is where Luka, he dies on us. If you know how horrible, I shouldn't say horrible because he's still a great player. How much does he regress in the second and fourth quarters of a lot of these games? And I think it's because of the first and third quarter.
And the fourth quarter is always inherently going to feel like it stings way more. And that's one of the things people brought up about the Mavericks is they have 3 of the 4 leading quarter scorers because Luka leads in the first and third and Kyrie leads in the fourth. That's for the whole season, so long before Kyrie even got to Dallas. And you can't help but think, sure, that's great.
He didn't score last night in the fourth quarter.
I know, and so you would gladly sacrifice a couple of those points in the first and third quarters. They could either go to someone else or, quite frankly, could be loaded up from a more efficient Luka in the fourth.
Yeah, with what you were saying, too, with the 3 innings. Yesterday, me and Delano DeShields went out and took on the North Lake Community College just to kind of get some work in, keep ourselves fresh. I went 3 innings. Yeah.
Yes.
For the most part, yeah. They swung. It was good to see. Like, they had a good approach. It was good. Those kids are working hard.
They gave it their best.
But the main thing, no, they did good. The main thing is, though, like I said, I did throw 3 innings. I'm tired today. I'm not going to play catch. I would not be available unless of an emergency. Same thing with Luka is he's got to be probably more vocal about it. I know it sucks. You don't want to be that guy that says, oh, man, I need time, but we need you down the road. I'd rather have you good to go in the fourth quarter than in the third quarter for 12 minutes.
And Kevin, he's not the most physically gifted player in the NBA either. Hey, I know that we question at times his cardio and everything, but who does this? Who plays the first 12 minutes of the game and then the first 12 minutes of the third quarter? As far as I know, and I could be wrong, we could look at average minutes per quarter somewhere, but every game I go to, I went to the Milwaukee Bucks game, thanks to you. And
You're welcome.
Giannis didn't play the first 12 minutes of the first quarter. He didn't play the first 12 minutes of the third quarter. That was a great game. There's you look at every player in the NBA and I think Luka's the only person that has to expend all his energy in 2 quarters and play all 12 minutes of it.
Because you want to get off to a fast start, right? But that fast start can encapsulate 6 minutes, right? It doesn't have to always be 12.
Even with the fast start, let's look at, for instance, the beginning of the season, Luka wasn't going as fast as he is now. I feel like the offense has picked up more speed ever since they get Kyrie, because Kyrie is a fast-paced guy, and Luka is adapting to that because I think he sees this is really working for us. Let's use it. So maybe he's getting a little more burnt out than usual, where he can come up the court slow, gather his breath, whatever, and then go. So I think that's the other thing that's a factor.
I'm just shocked that this is still happening. I thought for sure. I mean, I thought when they traded for Kyrie Irving that Luka would stop playing all 12 minutes of the first quarter and all 12 minutes of the third. Now, I get come playoff time because there's longer timeouts. There's never back-to-backs. I get that you're going to probably play 42 of the 48 minutes. Both guys are probably only going to sit out probably 3 to 4 minutes in the first half and 2 to 3 minutes in the second half
You
to
can distribute
win.
those differently,
Right. But in the regular season, I know we're trying to win, but I just think we're getting diminishing returns in the second quarter and fourth quarter from Luka, and I don't think that it's because he's a bad clutch player. I think he's a very good clutch player. But I think when you're that fatigued, when you put on that much effort in the third quarter, you're going to hit a wall a little bit in the fourth quarter. And luckily we have Kyrie. Kyrie's been amazing, awesome fourth quarter player, and it's great that it's taking pressure off of Luka. But I'd like to see Luka with more energy in the fourth quarter than what we've been seeing.
And one of the things I liked about when you brought this up is this feels like a realistic outcome. You know what I'm saying? Like when the person said, hey, let's distribute all Powell minutes and split them up between like Maxey and Wood, or make more room for Jaden Hardy. Like, I like a lot of those ideas. I just don't think they're as probable. Whereas this feels like something that can play out easily, but it depends, because Derek, you asked at the beginning of the segment, it depends. Is this a Luka idea or a Kid idea? Because if it's a Luka idea, I can see how that might be more complex to change.
Well, as an athlete, you don't want to come out of a game. It's a hard thing to sit here and be like, I have to tell myself like, yeah, you know what? I should get out. But that's not how it works. We're always wanting to stay in the game because, one, we want to show that we're capable of doing it and we're not tired and we can fight through this. And two, it's like we think we can just do it. We don't put the other stuff into perspective.
Now, here's another deal. And you had this guy as a manager. He's one of my good friends, AJ Hinch. And AJ Hinch always talked about, hey, sometimes we don't break the dam in the first or second inning. But if we keep putting pressure on this starting pitcher, if we can get his pitch count up early in the game, and we keep putting pressure on it, I know that dam's going to break. Now, this was when he was with the Houston Astros, obviously had a great lineup, and we're going to get to this guy. Even if we don't get him to in the first or second inning, if we make him work and we put pressure on him with runners on base. So what he's saying is this, and Derek, you can speak to this. If I have to throw 36 pitches in the first inning, now I can throw 100 pitches in a game, but if I throw 36 pitches in the first inning and just give up 1 run, but I get out of it with the bases loaded, only 1 run scored, sometimes my second and third inning is going to be affected by my first inning because I had to waste so much energy and there was so much pressure on me to get out of that first inning that now I'm a little bit fatigued. I'm trying not to. I'm a professional athlete, all these things, Derek, but sometimes if I have to push really hard in that first inning and extend myself more than kind of 25 pitches, all of a sudden I'll find out a little bit later in the game that wore me down.
Yeah, it's more of a high intensity right there. Your first inning was very intense inning. So now we got to look, okay, your second inning, maybe it was a little bit better. Your third inning is another intense inning. Now we have to start thinking about, well, okay, he's had 2 very intense innings. We get to the 5th and you could be doing just fine, but it's like, man, we get into another one of these. He's not going to be able to handle that. It's going to take a toll on him. That's why you see a lot of the guys with baseball. I know we keep coming back to it, but once they get later into that and you've had so many stressful innings like that, it's like, all right, we cannot continue to keep doing this because he's not going to be able to get through it.
And Kevin, if there were examples, if we had a lot of examples, like, hey, you know what? Tatum plays all 12 minutes and Durant plays all 12 minutes and you just keep going down the list. John Morant plays all 12 minutes. But literally, Luka's the only dude in the whole NBA that I know of watching all these NBA games and getting to go to some of these games with you, Derek. He's the only player in the NBA that always plays the first 12 of the first, always plays the first 12 of the third. And then we see that at times he struggles in the second quarter and fourth quarter. And I'm like, if nobody else is doing it in the NBA, and this isn't the most physically fit player in the NBA, why is our guy getting pushed to this?
Do you think it's because he's young and we can go ahead and, oh, he's fine, he's young, he can adapt to this, versus a guy who's older that it's like, well, we got to put those rest in?
I totally agree, but why doesn't Ja do it?
Correct. No, I'm with you. I think that's some of the cases that we have as some of our managers that we've seen all sports. It's like, well, he's a young guy. He should be able to handle this. He should be fine. And he's showing that he's okay. But at the same time, he's not going to come to you and be like, hey, man, I need a minute.
Right. And Jordan did handle it. Now, Jordan averaged 40 minutes a game, every game for 7 straight years. But look at Michael Jordan. They said like he couldn't get tired. Like you could never wear that guy out. But Luka, we see that, look, like Jokic, like they would never play Jokic. Now, I know he's a little bit heavier and bigger. They would never do that to him because they know that he would be dead in the fourth quarter. And he is carrying, I know they list him at 245, but he's probably closer to 255, 260. He is carrying quite a bit of weight for an NBA basketball player at his size. And they're asking him to, I think, I'm just wondering with Jason Kidd, he's way smarter than me at basketball, but I'm just like, God, aren't they asking a guy who's a little bit heavier guy in the NBA to be doing things that are detrimental to the end of the game?
Well, it's like you said, you're carrying two different loads. I mean, you're looking at Jordan, who's a specimen that was a lot thinner. Luka, nothing against him. He's a little bit thicker. He's not as in shape as Jordan. You know, that's a big thing. And that's why, too, like I was bringing up earlier, Luka is a guy that brings up the ball slower, and now that Kyrie's kind of convinced him and pushed him a little bit, I feel like Kyrie's got him going faster, and now he's got to get used to that. It's just like when you pitch, your body has to get used to the weight that you had before, and now all of a sudden I lost 10 pounds, and okay, well, my body's not used to this 10-pound difference, so now I got to adapt to that, or the 10 pounds that I put on, it's got to get used to that, so that's the other factor.